Welcome to My Worst Audition.
This reminds me of the first play that I did when I was still working a desk job, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try theater, and I hadn't done theater since like middle school. I'm like, I'm gonna give this a try, and I auditioned for a thing. This really isn't an audition story so much as it is Gary learned a valuable lesson story. It was because I don't learn any lessons in auditions. I just keep being an ass every time.
Just
I go
keep
in.
doing the same thing over and over.
Exactly. So I got the lead role in Dial M for Murder for community theater down in Northern Virginia. You know, small community theater, whatever. But all right, I'm playing Tony Wendis, the guy who hires somebody to kill his wife, and we rehearsed it and everything, and I was getting pretty good. I got my lines down, and we did the opening night. It went well. You know, everything went fine. It was good. And the director said, okay, let's come in early. We're going to do a line read through, you know, for the second show and make sure everybody's down. And I'm like, I don't need that shit. Keeping it real. In my mind, I'm like, I got the lines down already. I don't need to do this again. We're good. Everything's great. He's like, well, I'd like you to come in. I'm like, I got stuff, you know. I'll be in there. You saw I got it. Don't worry about it. Because I'm a jackass, and these are things that I don't realize. Just kind of like, oh no, you do need to practice this. So we get up on stage, everything's going fine, and the scene comes up where I am supposed to tell the guy that I'm hiring he's going to kill my wife. And this is like the 2 pages of the play where I'm basically laying out the entire plot of the play. And I'm talking to him, and as I'm talking, I realized, oh, I just skipped over those entire 2 pages. And I have that moment where I'm like, and I glance. It's a pretty full house there for community theater, and I glance down at the director who's sitting in the front row, and he's just sitting there looking up, going like,
"You mother!"
I'm like, oh. But thankfully, it wasn't Shakespeare, and thankfully, I had a bit of an improv comedy background already. I've been doing some improv, and the guy who played the guy I'm hiring had an improv background, so we literally made up 2 pages of dialogue to get the plot out and explain it to the audience. And thankfully, most people weren't the wiser. And I got away with it, you know, in community theater, in not Shakespeare. But man, yeah, it's Shakespeare. You can't mess that up. There's no way to.
No.
Oh,
good on you for having the fortitude and the wherewithal to be like, okay, I'm gonna just improvise my way out. Because I don't
it's
know,
stage. You can't be like, time out. Can I get a do-over?
Yeah. Before I got into the improv scene, like improving on stage felt like, I don't know what your experience was, but before I like got into like improv, it was I feel like it was so looked down upon to make anything up on stage. Like the words on the page are the words. I had done a lot of plays where like if people like flubbed words or tried to work their way around it, directors would be like, listen, don't do that again. You know, please stick to the script.
You're an actor, not a writer. Let's
yeah,
stick to that.
unless you wrote the play.